Ricky's return to the Kaufman pack has been met with mixed feelings. Abraham has accepted him into the fold, but the other members are wary of growing tension between the two males. Abraham has another focus entirely. He's decided on Morgan Lee as his mate, but they have yet to solidify their relationship. Werewolf customs dictate that an alpha pair can only be established once a male heir is born. And for that to happen, Morgan needs to enter into an engagement with Abraham. Unfortunately, she's rejected his advances. Something that hasn't gone unnoticed by Ricky. He's been keeping a close eye on the pair. Their incompatibility has given him ideas of his own. Rosalie Gill is yet unclaimed and of a more agreeable nature. While he's younger than her by many years, he commands her attention. Rosalie finds him attractive. Ricky has plans for the future of the werewolves, and one he's willing to share with Rosalie. She, in turn, feels drawn to the new age Ricky wishes to bring. He seems to have more clarity than Abraham. Ricky senses this and begins the courtship rituals. He's hoping this werewolf romance will be more successful than Abraham's. Luckily for him, Rosalie appears to have the same idea about their engagement. Hello everyone, this is Fantasy-esque and welcome back to the Sims 3 Fairy Amazon Royal Saga with the Verdington Fae Court. Well, actually, we're with the Kaufman pack right now, Tuesday, 8 p.m. And what is going on here with you? Okay, this is not cool. Well, looks as though we have a slight bit of drama. So, in the previous episode, we saw Abraham, kind of alpha of this pack, trying to go ahead and solidify his relationship with chosen mate Morgan Lee. Now, unfortunately, Morgan Lee is not really cooperating with him. So as we kind of clarified in the previous episode, the werewolves have a particular culture that they follow from the homeland, and Abraham is a traditionalist in the fact that he wants to keep that culture alive. Ricky represents kind of the new age, and he wants the werewolves to discard their old ways because he feels as though in the long term the old ways are going to be destructive, and he wants to establish a new kind of culture for the werewolves in Dragon Valley. So, according to the old customs, the way an alpha pair is made, because a pack functions under the guidance of their alpha and the alpha's mate, and the alphas are always males, so they need to essentially be engaged to a mate of their choosing, and then they have to try for a baby. So once they get an heir, they need a male child, then they can marry the chosen mate, and that mate, that partnership becomes permanent, right? So if Morgan gets pregnant and she has a girl, then their relationship will end. So he'll break off the engagement with her because she did not produce an heir, and he'll find another mate. Whereas if she produces a son, then that becomes his heir, and these two get married. So that's the way werewolf culture or courtship rituals works in the old culture, the old way, traditional way of doing things. So they've been having issues because we all know Morgan Lee is non-committal. She has commitment issues, and Abraham has been trying to approach her and propose several times, and she's pretty much rejected him. Now Ricky, he's been observing this the whole time, and it gave him ideas that if things aren't working out with Morgan and Abraham, then, you know, that might be kind of his way into a leadership role, or his way to gain strength in the pack to find a mate for himself. And right now, Rosalie is that other wolf that he's got his eye on. Now, Abraham had the choice between Rosalie and Morgan Lee. He chose Morgan. So Ricky went for Rosalie, and Ricky feels as though Rosalie has a more agreeable nature. She doesn't have any issues in terms of, being, like, having commitment issues or anything like that. She doesn't have those problems. So he started romancing her, and while he was romancing her, he basically told her his plans for the future of the werewolves and such. And I feel as though at this point the females can sense there's, you know, some tension between the males, at least from Ricky's side, so they're being wary of that. And Rosalie, I think, having followed Abraham for a while, can see that there is more clarity in the ideas that Ricky has, and she really liked that, so she was drawn to him, and they had the same idea about their engagement. So they're both now engaged, and, you know, these two, I feel as though, have been moving their romance along more in private, because Ricky is not in a leadership role. It's not kind of it's not news that everyone's aware of, that okay, the leader, you know, the alpha is looking for his mate and he wants to procreate and have offspring. Yeah, that's not really something that everyone's got their eye on. So I feel as though Abraham might not be aware that this has been going on, and things aren't working out with Morgan Lee, so he's started looking towards Rosalie Gill. And Ricky has already proposed to her, so they're engaged, and Abraham's just come in, and he is trying to flirt with Rosalie Gill because he's having problems with Morgan Lee. I don't know if he realizes, but Rosalie isn't an option anymore because she is now claimed by Ricky. So obviously this is going to make things between him and Ricky even more tense. So we have that going on. Very, very awkward. And we saw that Rosalie kind of rejected that. See, look, Ricky, I feel like he is kind of marking his territory at this point. Oh no. Yes? Okay. I was thinking Rosalie's not going to accept that, but she is. She accepted that, and look, he is immediately romancing her, and she's reciprocating, and Abraham's looking on the sidelines. He's probably like, what? When did this happen? When did Ricky claim Rosalie? He hasn't even been here for that long. Oh my goodness, that was so cool. That was so cool. See, look, now Abraham's complaining. Guys, do you see this? Do you see this? The scenario is literally that Ricky has just proposed to Rosalie, and he was, you know, just wrapping that up. And then Abraham came, not having seen the proposal, in their private moment, and he's trying to now approach and flirt with Rosalie, but Rosalie rejected him because now she believes in Ricky's cause, so she's aligned herself with Ricky. And then Ricky, to kind of, you know, show his claim over Rosalie, started being romantic with her. She reciprocated, and then she went behind Ricky, and then Ricky turned around to face Abraham, who was watching them, and was having this revelation, and it's almost as though Ricky's got like a defensive posture, and Abraham's obviously not happy about this, so he's complaining. I feel like if he didn't take Ricky and Ricky's tantrums seriously before, he's going to like have to start taking them seriously now, because Ricky's, you know, claimed the only other female in the pack. So if he wants an heir, he really has to get moving with Morgan, because Rosalie's, she's out of bounds. Just look at this scenario. Just look at this. The two males are having a disagreement, and Rosalie's there behind Ricky because, you know, she's with Ricky. So sorry, bud, but you chose the wrong female, and now you have to deal with the consequences. Oh my goodness. That was so cool. See, they're having a disagreement now. and Abraham's walked off. They totally had a disagreement over the females, and I think this is the first time Abraham's seeing a problem with this situation, because it's, you know, directly hurting his chances of getting an heir. So anyways, like I said, the old way of doing things with the werewolves is, you know, get engaged and then have a son and then get married and make that mating permanent, make that partnership permanent. But Ricky, he's already told Rosalie of, you know, his plans for a new werewolf culture, and he wants to make those changes to their courtship rituals and the way werewolf romance works as well. So instead of doing things the traditional way, Ricky, you know, his kind of own personal romance is a way for him to start establishing this new culture, new way of doing things. He doesn't feel as though it's fair necessarily to have just a son and make the son an heir. He feels as though a son or daughter would do just fine with the right mate. And he also doesn't feel as though it's entirely responsible of the male wolves to discard, you know, their engaged partners if they have a daughter. So instead, what he's proposing to Rosalie is that, you know, in his ideal world, in his new world for the werewolves will go to a special place and get married. So they will make their mating or their partnership permanent from the get-go. So once they've chosen each other, they've chosen each other. Kind of like mates for life sort of situation. And it's not going to be, there's no party or anything huge like that. It is pretty much a, how do we say, it's a private wedding. It's a private wedding. But both of them are going to go to a spot that is special to the werewolves. So yeah, we'll get them to change into their formal wear, and we'll get a move on now, actually. So let's get changed into their formal wear. I mean, their formal wear ain't looking all that formal, not gonna lie, but that's okay. They have interesting tastes in fashion. That is fine. But these two are going to head... Let's see. We'll form a pack with these guys. And a nearby spot. Okay, they have a pack going on. So a nearby area that could be kind of like that special place for wolves are these collection of stones. I mean, we've got some here, we've even got a bunch of stones here and down here. I think maybe this area would be like a special kind of spot for the werewolves because it's so close to the original piece of land the werewolves are granted. So they're going to come on here. They are going to go here with pack. And they will promise themselves to each other and have a private wedding at night. So that is the way things are going to work with the werewolves, you know, under the moonlight and such. It's a private wedding with just these two. And the reason why these rocks, this place, is special to them is because I think for the werewolves, this earth rock, it signifies strength, right? Strength, and then the many rock pieces around, it's kind of like unity. Strength and unity is what this piece of land, like this area here, signifies. So they're going to have a private wedding with each other. Let's see. Let's have a private wedding. So this is like two different kinds of werewolf romance and courtship that we're seeing. Look at them, getting married under the stars. There we go. Oh, that is just too precious. There we go, right under the stars in this sacred place of theirs. And there we go. So he's gotten to move on very quickly. Rosalie is now his lifelong mate. She is his wife, and she is now Rosalie Salter. Now, obviously, Abraham isn't aware of Ricky's ideas of all of these things, and he doesn't know that Ricky's changing stuff, he's doing things differently. In Abraham's mind, they still are engaged, and they still have to have a son before they get married, because it doesn't matter if you're an alpha pair or you're a normal wolf pair, every single werewolf goes through the same courtship rituals. But obviously Ricky doesn't believe in that, and he's being the first to kind of change things around. So there we go. They're married now, and no doubt Ricky's next step is going to be to have an heir with Rosalie, regardless of whether it is a boy or a girl. So that's the way things are working out with them. Meanwhile, Abraham is going to be trying hard with Morgan now, because he has no other option. Like, she's the only one there, and really there's no other werewolves in Dragon Valley that he's aware of, so his options are very, very limited. But okay, those two are going to come back from their rendezvous. I don't know how Abraham is going to receive this. He obviously wasn't happy when he found out that Ricky had claimed Rosalie, because he didn't have like an option 2 anymore. But we'll see if he makes any progress with Morgan Lee, or if Rosalie and Ricky get a head start on there. Well, what is this situation over here? Looks as though Rosalie, after being newly married to Ricky, has returned to the pack house and shared her new status as Ricky's wife with Morgan. Now, Morgan, I don't know her reaction just yet, because as soon as I was about to see, how she might feel about the situation, Abraham obviously heard this, and he is not happy with the situation, and he overheard enough to know where Ricky went, that they got married by the stones, like by the rocks here. So at midnight, he is going to Ricky to fight with him. So I think Abraham is very frustrated at this point. He feels as though he has had a potential mate robbed from him, even though he was pursuing Morgan Lee. And I think he just doesn't understand why Ricky is breaking tradition. Like, this is not the way werewolves are supposed to function. This is not the way relationships work within wolf society. So he's going to kind of lay down the law as the alpha of the pack and put Ricky in his place, so to speak. Now, some of you lovelies have mentioned in the previous episode that, the whole idea of alphas in a pack and them leading and then everyone being under them and so, that isn't really how wolves function in real life. Even though these are werewolves and not actual wolves, I feel like a lot of people, you kind of base the werewolf culture off of what you think werewolves are, or what people thought werewolves were back then. I am aware that the whole alpha thing is not actually how wolves work in real life. That is a very outdated idea and very outdated concept of how wolf pack functions in the wild. But I feel as though that outdated idea has become a stereotype for werewolf supernaturals. So I'm running with that for a bit here, okay? Just bear with me. I know it's gonna be at the back of all our minds that this whole alpha thing is not how wolves work, but it's okay. They're werewolves. It's a fantasy world. Even if that's not how wolves work in real life, the werewolves can function as such. But anyways, Abraham, as the alpha of the pack, is about to lay down the law with Ricky. He's already had disagreements with him, and he doesn't understand why Ricky is breaking tradition and subverting culture. Like, he hasn't been here that long and is already turning things upside down. So, oh, Ricky. Okay, well, I don't know how to interpret this, because he was ready. He was ready. Ricky decided that he did not want to confront Abraham, so he left. He took off, and Morgan Lee is coming over to smooch Abraham. And I'm going to say that maybe Morgan Lee kind of saw Abraham, you know, storm off, and she assumed that something was going to happen between Ricky and Abraham. And I'm pretty sure, let me just check. She's friends with both Rosalie and Ricky. So I feel like Morgan's trying to keep the peace a little bit here. And she's very perceptive, so that makes sense. She's trying to keep the peace a little bit. So I think she's running on there to give Abraham a smooch so that he's distracted from, you know, Ricky taking off. So Ricky is, I suppose, doing the wise thing. He does not want to get into a scuffle with said alpha of the pack just yet. So he's taking off. Morgan Lee is giving him some attention. Let's see if he's happy with that. Yes, it appears he is. It appears he is. So that's, oh, they're romantic interests. Were they not romantic interests beforehand? He's gonna give her a hug. Oh, nope, she's not into that. She's not into that. Okay, we'll compliment her personality then. Actually, what else can you do as a romantic? Gaze into her eyes. Let's do some of that. Maybe throw some flowers at her. Give us some... Oh, geez. Maybe precious pink flowers? He's trying to be flirty. She's not necessarily having it. Okay, she liked the flowers. Maybe hold her hands. Yep, there we go. Oh, geez. There's a fire on the home lot. Oh my goodness, Rosalie. What are you doing? Rosalie. I'm just gonna leave her be. You deal with yourself, Rosalie. This is... We're busy trying to do something over here. Okay? Morgan's trying to calm the alpha down. And you're burning the house. Oh, jeez. Well, let's keep trying with these two. I think Abraham would be very desperate to make some progress with her. We'll try throwing in a flirt. Were they not romantic interests before? We'll do a shy kiss. Up, up, up. Okay, well, they obviously saw the flames, or, you know, smelled the flames. So they're gonna go ahead. All their senses are going crazy. They're gonna rush back home. The alpha needs to see what the hell's going on. Is anyone gonna bother to put out the fire, just out of curiosity? Is anyone? Everyone's just gonna freak out. And this one is out hunting. Oh my goodness, where is he gone? Ricky! Ricky's completely kind of like run off. I think he was seriously avoiding a confrontation with Abraham. So, you know, Rosalie can go back because Rosalie's always been a member of the pack. So Abraham can't really take it out on her. But he and Ricky, they've kind of been butting heads. Even though Abraham didn't realize it initially. And it looks as though Ricky has just taken off. And he doesn't realize there's a fire back at the place. Okay, well, Abraham, you're the alpha. You need to extinguish flames. Like, do something about it. Stop yelling. My goodness. You're supposed to protect your pack members. Come on. Come on, Abraham. Put this out. He's exhausted from all of this. Ricky's nowhere to be seen. Maybe he's gonna come back when things are a little bit calmer. Yeah, let's put that out. My goodness. My goodness. Come on, you can do it. We even have this, like, random firefighter here trying to help us out. Okay, well that was just ridiculous. Seriously, Rosalie. Seriously. That you just had to set the house on fire? You just had to, I suppose. She's got, like, Morgan's got spoiled food in her inventory. But Morgan's definitely been thinking about Abraham because, look, she wants to kiss him, so she's you know, she wants to chat with him. What the heck is this? Serenade him with drums? We don't have drums. But she's definitely been thinking about him. Hopefully that means that their relationship can improve a little bit better. Okay, Ricky has returned, and Abraham's asleep, so I feel as though he figured it was late enough for him to make it back without alerting Abraham, and maybe Abraham's going to be calmer in the morning. Because, you know, he has his own plans, but he doesn't want to be chased out of the pack, right? He wants to take this pack and turn it into something better, but in order to do that, he needs to be in the pack. He can't be chased out. So, there we go. Now, another thing, since the last time we were here, arrangements have been made for Ricky. So there's 3 beds down here in the basement now, and he occupies one of them. But, okay, we'll get him to eat up, and Rosalie should probably be going to bed too. Morgan's asleep. Everyone's just gonna head to bed. Everyone is going to head to bed. So, we have yet another interesting situation happening. So, it is 2 p.m. the day after Ricky has gotten married to Rosalie. He came back while Abraham was sleeping. Abraham seems to be much calmer this morning than he was the night before. He's going about his own things. And meanwhile, Ricky and Morgan are flirting with each other. In fact, Ricky was the first one to make the move on Morgan. I think he winked at her and she accepted it. And now they're being flirty with one another, and she's obviously thinking about Rosalie, his wife. Now, I feel as though this is kind of just like a power grab for Ricky. He's not necessarily trying to pursue Morgan. He's trying to get Morgan on his side, since she already is refusing to commit to Abraham as a partner, and I think Ricky's trying to convince her to abandon him as a leader. So that's what's going on here. And then, of course, Rosalie is rushing. She looks like she's about to murder someone, but, you know, I don't think that's what's happening. She's just going to enthuse about garlic with Morgan. Hopefully, nothing kind of destroys her relationship with Ricky. Hopefully she doesn't misunderstand what's going on between Ricky and Morgan. Why don't we wait and see what's happening? Why don't we wait and see? Let's hope that newly found relationship doesn't get destroyed with each other. And let's see, Rosalie. Okay, apparently not. Thank goodness. Thank flippin' goodness. So it looks as though things are okay between them right now. Yep. Nothing strange is happening. Rosalie isn't misunderstanding anything, which is good. I am glad. I think Ricky was just making a bit of a power grab to try and encourage Morgan to continue being difficult for Abraham. And basically telling her, you know, that she shouldn't feel pressured to be engaged to Abraham just because he is the pack alpha. No need for any of that to happen. But obviously Abraham, look, just as he's readied himself for the day, he's back to trying to make a move on Morgan because he desperately wants some progress, especially after seeing how Ricky has just destroyed their traditions by going ahead and marrying someone without producing an heir first. I think he's calmed down a little bit, but then he's realized that the priority right now is to get an heir out of Morgan and to get engaged with her. In fact, they're not even going steady or anything. I think she rejected him like at the going steady stage, which is quite sad. Now he wishes to go hunting. Why don't we see if we can try and ask her to go steady? In fact, they can woohoo, but I don't think Rosalie and Ricky have... Actually, no, they might have. They might have woohooed. They might have. Anyways, that's besides the point. I don't remember if they have or if they haven't, but we're gonna try and get these two. Actually, she wants to kiss him and chat with him. So, can we maybe just chat? with him. Like a casual chat. Let's compliment his fur. I wonder if that counts as a chat. Apparently not. That's strange. Like, what counts as a flippin' chat? Let's consider his attractiveness. How attractive does she find him? I mean, they are romantic interests, so it should be pretty high, but you never know. Let's see. Curious about Morgan's perception of him. A 10 out of 10. She's very attracted to him, but she still doesn't want to commit. Okay, well, there's not really anything here that necessarily says chat. Would just like a normal talking do the trick? Maybe we'll talk about being irresistible. Let's try that. Let's talk about being irresistible. And then see if you can give him a kiss. Because she wants to do that anyways. Okay. What is this, Rosalie? Are you being attracted to Abraham? Remember how Ricky convinced you that Abraham didn't have clarity? Yeah. Let's stick to that, shall we? Oh, she wants to woohoo with Abraham. Maybe that's gonna help their relationship a bit. Okay. See, look, she doesn't want to try for baby because she's non-committal. She doesn't want a child. I suppose that also makes sense. She doesn't want to be in a relationship. She doesn't want to have a kid that's dependent on her. So Abraham, it kind of, you know, makes me on Ricky's side as well, because I feel like if Abraham's choosing someone like Morgan to be his alpha female, to his partner, then obviously he doesn't have foresight and clarity for the pack, because why would you pick someone who doesn't even want, like, doesn't even have the same goals as you? You know what I mean? Just feels a bit strange. So anyways, she's taking some initiative with him. Maybe he's gonna have a bit more success if he tries to go steady with her and get engaged to her. So let's try that. Let's give her a hug and see if maybe Abraham can be a bit more successful. Are you guys stuck? Maybe? Okay, why don't we just come out of there? Why don't we... Actually, don't even sit. Just come out here. Just come out into the hallway. It's a bit tight in there. And then let's see if we can give her a hug and get things up to irresistible. Let's try and be irresistible, shall we? Yep. And then we are going to propose going steady. This time around, she agreed. Okay, okay. And let's try and go straight to engagement. Who knows? She might reject him like she has beforehand. Actually, he's never proposed to her, I think. Yep, no. She's not ready for that step. No, 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 no. Unfortunately, she's not ready. So, again, they've got... I think the first few times, she didn't want to go steady with him. And now, finally, they are going steady, but she's not ready to enter into an engagement with him. So, that's kind of interesting. And obviously, it's making things a little bit difficult. Because, you know, according to his traditions, the traditions the werewolves have been following for however long from their homeland, they have to be engaged to produce an heir. So Abraham's following very strictly to that courtship ritual. But obviously Ricky, he's gone about things differently. Look at that! He's romancing his wife over here. Abraham's romancing his potential mate over here. So we've got two different werewolf romances going. Now Ricky, I feel, and Rosalie might just be ready to try for a baby. I think they would be ready for that. Especially because, you know, that's the next step for them. They already are a married couple, and Ricky, it would be useful for him to have an heir right now, but obviously, whether or not Abraham perceives that child as heir material, like for Ricky, if they, you know, wasn't Battle of the Alphas per se, then Ricky's child would only be a threat or a matter of concern if it was a boy. Obviously, if Ricky had a daughter, he would still consider it his heir, but Abraham would not. So Abraham would not feel threatened by that. Whereas if Ricky had a son, then Abraham would start getting concerned because, according to Abraham's worldview, the son is the only offspring that can be the heir. So, where are you two going? Like, what's even happening? Come on, you two. Let's leave the other two alone. Let's continue making progress with your partnership. Come on. Come on, you two. We can do it. There we go. It'd also be really cool to see a kid between these two, I reckon, because of Rosalie's hair color and Ricky's hair color and the eye colors. It's just so cool, you know? Whereas Abraham, you know, he's got black hair, Morgan's got ginger hair, so they don't seem that different, that fantasy-esque, whereas Ricky and Rosalie do. So I kind of like that Ricky and Rosalie ended up together, and that Abraham ended up with Morgan, because Ricky and Rosalie just look so different, and I think that is so cool. I mean, Ricky's got this whitish hair, and then Rosalie has this, you know, grayish blue hair, and I just think it's so cool. Okay, let's go and check. And yes, Rosalie Salter is pregnant, guys. So these two, they're expecting good news. Obviously, Abraham doesn't know that piece of good news just yet. And these two, you know, they're trying, but they won't know until Rosalie starts showing. Morgan's obviously not even concerned about that at all. Because that's not her idea of an ideal life. But she is thinking about Abraham. I don't know if it's, you know, her being pressured by Abraham or what it is. She's obviously drawn to him, but she doesn't take things as seriously as Rosalie does. So I think Abraham's starting to regret a little bit that he picked Morgan and not Rosalie, because, you know, Ricky is so far ahead with Rosalie. Even if he broke the customs that the werewolves typically follow, Abraham is quite far behind. And he definitely had his eye on Rosalie after Rosalie and Ricky unexpectedly got engaged, and he didn't know about it. Okay, guys, I suppose we'll just have to keep an eye on the group to see what continues happening. Yet another day, and Abraham is trying to pursue Morgan once more. They have gotten closer in their relationship, enough so that she now sleeps in his quarters instead of down in the dungeon with the rest of the pack. So Abraham is going to attempt to get engaged to her today if possible. And also, look at this cool interaction the werewolves have, which I rarely get to use because I rarely spend time with the werewolves, having them romance each other. Look at how cool that looks. They have like a whole nuzzle interaction. Okay, leave Ricky alone. I don't even know what Ricky's doing. But don't mind Ricky. Ricky, what are you doing? Oh, he's scratching. Right, Abraham scratches all the time, but I suppose when he does it, it's a territorial thing. When someone else does it, he doesn't like it. Okay, stop telling off. You need to spend some time with Morgan. I mean, she is just so close to being yours. Just keep trying, mate. Just keep trying. Okay, let's hold our hands. We'll do a heat of the moment kiss. And then maybe a flirt. For some reason, she's not always a big fan of the amorous hugs. I guess she's just not a hugging person. Okay, and then we'll give a shy kiss. There we go. I mean, he's a hopeless romantic, and I'm pretty sure she's irresistible. Yeah. And so is Ricky. Ricky is irresistible as well. Okay, we might just get lucky today, guys. We might just get lucky. Let's go ahead and embrace. Actually, let's gaze into eyes. Oh, okay. Maybe we can gaze into eyes and then propose marriage, and she will agree to become engaged. Okay, here he goes. Here he goes. I mean, she slept in your bed. Maybe this is a good sign. Yes, I think she is finally gone ahead and accepted his proposal. Oh my goodness. Okay, after a ton of hard work, they're finally engaged, and as per werewolf custom, they can finally start trying for an heir. And that's exactly what Abraham is going to want to be doing. Yep, everyone probably knows about this engagement. I don't even think people are, you know, very much aware of Ricky and Rosalie, because Ricky's a new character entirely. He's not, you know, the leader of the werewolves. So obviously people aren't gonna pay attention to his private life. But Ricky and Rosalie, you know, they're hiding a bit of a surprise right now. Rosalie's pregnant. Nobody knows just yet. So that's gonna be exciting when news does get around. But Abraham's been working hard and finally has managed to convince Morgan that partnering with him is a good idea. And then, interestingly enough, Abraham wants to go ahead and do a political quest with Lumia O'Rayan. He wants to befriend Lumia O'Rayan, which is intriguing because she's the one who's doing an investigation on the whole scandal, which the Kaufman pack is a part of, because they, you know, under Prince Malik's instruction, are the ones who spread the rumors that Lord Kyle and Lady Morida were having an affair. So now I wonder what's going through his mind and why he's wanting to befriend Lumia. But obviously it must be out of caution to keep a close eye on her, something of the sort. If you guys have theories, let me know. But I feel as though Abraham is starting to have concerns, or, you know, his stagnate relationship with Morgan gave him pause and caused him to reconsider some of the connections he has in town and some of his other priorities. But okay, guys, with that said and done, I'm gonna leave off here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you all in the next episode. Bye bye.